with those, but hope that they actually are able to pull out something here.
So
Game 1, though.
Fan service game. Pick everything. Game 1, it is going to be probably simple bans here. Malzahar, Graves, expect to see that Rengar Lulu somewhere towards the top of the pick list.
Yeah, Malzahar, super duper common ban, and is, funnily enough, aimed so much at the support role. But to me, especially with the resurgence of Vladimir, it's actually too bad for mid lane Malzahar, because I keep thinking of, counter picks, an old counter picks that we used to see versus Vladimir, because he's so strong right now and gives you a really good team fight late game. What else can people use if he continues to be so popular? Malzahar was one of them, right up there with the Anivia and the like, but you never get a chance because the support one is always banned out. Following that up with Karma ban as well there for TSM, and you can see they are targeting Lemon Nation, and they're encouraging him to go the, Maokai and Blitzcrank route here, it looks like.
Do it. Still have the Nautilus they can flex down there. It's been a while since we've seen that.
Definitely.
A little bit better in the top lane, though. Last.
We don't
picks. No ban coming
so,
in from FlyQuest.
We'll get confirmation whether that was intentional or not. Regardless, though, what that leaves us with is a wide open mid lane. Camilla's been first pick for the top lane for split push for Hanser. They want to set him up to carry. I mean, there's been so many videos, and Hanser himself talking about how he wants to be a leader on this team. He wants to be a carry on this team. And with that comes with calling for more resources. He is set up on Camille. Even after the nerf, she's still one of the champions where if you can get her some money early on, she can become a massive split push threat. She can also chase down kills super well. And then meanwhile, on the other side, as we said, FlyQuest maybe a little bit more return to standard here, and they are focusing on more of the standard priority picks for that most teams actually have very high up there.
So the Lulu Rengar, they're quick block into the Vladimir as it comes through. Looks like I would have figured that was FlyQuest, but it's TSM's.
Yeah, and as I was talking about, Vladimir, very, very strong team fighting, especially later in the game right now. This proto build that everyone's going with the Ignite in mid lane has been enough to take down pretty much any AD carries as soon as you get to the mid game. Right now, we'll have to wait and see if Bjergsen actually does go Ignite, because you can still go the mobility Vladimir with the Ghost. That was very popular before. Ghost has since then gotten some nerfs, and that's why we saw a little bit more of the offensive summoner spells. Regardless, though, we're well past that now and seeing a couple of the other bans here. Along with Malzahar, Talon was one of the ones that, if he did take Ignite, also could throw some problems Vladimir's way.
I liked himself Talon. Not sure about the rework. Probably still would play it, as Talon lovers are going to stick with him.
Yeah.
And he is very fun to play.
The Anivia still is an option as well.
That's true.
And I actually did have a game of Anivia, if I remember correctly. Depends on how confident he does feel being able to take that one up. And they actually, right now, with the Rumble in the top side, would be pretty AP heavy if they do that, as well as Lulu down there for support. Maybe a little bit more crowd control would be what FlyQuest are looking for to actually round it out. Caitlyn, though, able to add on. That is one of the most common champions there to pair with the Lulu. This ensures your late game. Caitlyn, Lulu scales super well. Also, it's a very strong lane.
See what High can throw into the mix here. Quite a powerful team already from FlyQuest. Even putting protection on these guys would help, but the Orianna's out. TSM looks now for their AD carry. That's going to be Wild Turtle with the Jhin, so they have the chance to open up from quite far away here with the Gragas Vladimir follow-up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting what TSM are going for right now, too. They have a lot of versatility, actually. And that's one of the things that Gragas coming back into the meta is definitely something that I like to see, where he is one of the few junglers that can give you a disengage. You can use his ultimate for offensive uses or peeling uses. Just so versatile. He can go for early plays and really opens up different types of team comps. As of right now, as we said, they are still going to go with that Hanser Camille for the split push top, and maybe those early moves from Svenskeren on the Gragas will be directed up into that area.
A difficult lock-in for High. You take that match versus Vladimir and you realize your ultimate could be fizzled out very quickly just by a pool. But Syndra's still a good pickup otherwise. to make things happen across the map. Just hard to get that kill onto the Vladimir fan.
Yeah, one of the tricks here for the Syndra's, especially into Vladimir's, is using your ultimate super early on. So he's not going to pool it, and then using your stun afterwards with the rest of the orbs that will be lying around. Does pose some more questions. As you transition into the team fight phases, he'll have more targets that he has options for.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, this is it's a very dynamic squad that TSM have drafted with a lot of mobility. And sometimes that can pose a problem to Syndra, as she's a very low mobility mage in the mid lane. Lots of burst though, and definitely can be explosive, especially since he's got Moon on Rengar, which has been a great combo for these guys, Moon and High, especially with these champions.
It does equal a lot of kill pressure. We could see some early level 2 shenanigans towards the mid lane here to throw off Bjergsen on that Vlad. We actually saw it's exactly what they were doing to Piglet previously. I should just say yesterday on Friday when he played Vladimir. Make sure he's down in the early game. You can't really do too much mid to late. Hashtag TSM win, hashtag fly win. As we get into match here for TSM versus FlyQuest. TSM, as we said, holding that first place spot right now, 12-2, possible 16-2 here if they can clean up the rest of the season.
Definitely true. They are looking very good as we head into the home stretch. There's some FlyQuest fans sitting right next to some TSM fans, it looks like.
It's going to get rowdy.
Meanwhile,
hopefully it's as crazy as our previous game was of Cloud9 and Immortals. We are on the Rift.
Yes, we are. And as soon as you get onto the Rift, I like to look at options for junglers, Riv.
Well, lay the options out for me, Kobe.
First of all, Vladimir, early on, everybody's very well aware that likes to scale, wants to get more points in the queue. You know, not a lot of kill pressure there. Bjergsen has gone with that Ignite that we were talking about instead of the Ghost that was, you know, kind of outdated. And so he will have that extra kill pressure as you transition later into game for Altec and for the backline members. Also makes mid lane super exciting when both mid laners are taking Ignite. Meanwhile, Elimination as well in the bottom lane, a little bit of kill pressure there. So those are the types of things you look for as a jungler. If I'm Svenskeren, I have a lot of priority towards Hauntzer at the moment. The Camille, you know, you want to get her up to the Trinity Force point, you know, to the Tiamat point where she can gain a lot of wave control. It's one of the only things that she really has to supplement with her item build is getting a little bit more AoE so she can push and then start to roam around. And that always makes you keep in mind, okay, well, I'm facing a Rengar, and Rengar counter ganks can be super scary, especially when paired with a Rumble. Because all of Ball's damage, or most of Ball's damage, will be area of effect. And if TSM extend really far, if Svenskeren goes for an early gank up there, and there is a Rengar waiting in the bush, that's one of the 2v2s that gets turned around super hard. So while you do want to pressure that lane for Hauntzer, you have to be very wary and try and track the enemy Rengar. That's why I look at this one deep ward on the Krugs actually from TSM. It doesn't give them any information because the Rengar is going to the opposite side. What it does let them know is that Moon is not going for one of those super early, some people consider them to be cheesy routes up to the top side to go for one of those super early ganks or get into position for any sort of Camille Rumble action.
Push up from Elimination and Altec just to slow things down on Biofrost and Turtle. We'll have to see how Moon starts things off from the jungle. He has been pretty pivotal, as we said, towards the mid lane. Just look to be some lockdown control from this Lulu and Caitlyn in that bot if they get around them. Be interesting to see how High goes up against Bjergsen here. We haven't seen too many Vlads really control the game outright.
Paul's pushing up his lane on Rumble, as he should, and then gets a little bit of information. It cost him maybe one execution on that melee minion. He still got experience for it, though. Not a big deal. Plus, he'll let the wave push towards him. Now that he knows that there is an enemy Gragas on this quadrant of the map, and Svenskeren, as kind of expected, is trying to make it work up around this top side of the map.
Really interested to see as well how Balls performs here on Rumble. It's been not a while since he's had it, but not as often as before. And that was his wheelhouse champion. Svenskeren finding a little bit of love for Moon in the jungle. Doesn't have that red buff yet, so Svenskeren may be able to trickle away here.
Moon's going to keep up the chase, and Svenskeren flashes critically.
Over the wall, the flash is going to be Balls picking up the first blood.
And they actually use both solo laner flashes. Got to keep your eye on that. Balls does have bubble buff, double buffs.
Got to be careful. Haunter could keep in range, but they say don't worry about it. High also blew both of his summoners, and he doesn't want to lose too much towards mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they got the first blood. That's definitely good for FlyQuest in the collapse there, as I believe it was a body slam over from Svenskeren, and that's why he found himself in a lot of trouble. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Vision first, so he was being a little bit cautious. Just the timing here from Moon.
Oh, he gets to start the fight
very
too,
good
with the barrel going off.
Yeah. Anyways, as you can see, Svenskeren made the best, after he was found out, he made the best possible escape there, which was to flash to the blast cone, but it doesn't matter because FlyQuest very quick to collapse there. And they do use a lot of summoners to do it, so let's see if Svenskeren goes on the offensive afterwards, because with that first blood and the rumble for the top side, Balls will be feeling pretty good, even though did lose out on quite a bit of CS during that.
High pretty much expending the mana pool there as he gets pushed under his turret. Bjergsen still trying to deliver that damage as he has Crimson Rush up, staying very close the whole time for Harass.
Look at this Moon gank. He's right behind Bjergsen right now as well. Red buff.
He's a little too focused on getting that kill onto High with low mana. The Ignite goes down. Pool not in range for another Q. High is going to trickle down, but he will stay alive. Second kill going over to Moon.
High Moon once again gets right back out on the field. I was thinking maybe Svenskeren will be the first to action, but the Rengar experience lead, red buff as well, and Moon is definitely set up for success now as well. The kill credit, High hasn't gotten any of the actual last hits for these kills on the Syndra, which he would definitely like, but they are going to good effect here, and we'll see what Moon can do with that from the jungle. Also, always got to keep in mind the passive from Rengar. Starting to stack up with all those unique kills that he does get. One on the jungler, one on mid so far.
No love for the bot lane from junglers just yet. 44 to 36. This basically glitter lands into headshots that have kept TSM and their bot lane at bay here. Here comes Moon.
Is he? All right, they're waiting for the minion wave, and boop.
Exhaust goes down, actually kills him. And aggro is taken up top.
Exactly. Very good job by elimination. You want one of the ranged champions to start taking it out first, because the ranged champions can very clearly stay on the edge of the turret, and elimination just takes a couple of shots really easily. What you don't want to happen is your melee, your Rengar jumping in as he's going in. That's like the only way that you give over a kill in that situation. If the Rengar gets the turret aggro, and then maybe TSM is able to turn something around under the turret. Regardless, though, this is a massive snowball for FlyQuest. They play off of the top lane, counter invade here, and then the Caitlyn, Lulu, constant pushing, constant pressure does take its toll here.
It'll be interesting to see if Haunter can keep his bit of a lead up now as the lanes start to swap, throw them out of what could be an advantage there. Balls did get his kill early, but Haunter can still come back into this game and be a problem.
Definitely true.
Altec just on the backside of Balls here. He may be able to make something happen if he comes through the brush.
Lulu here gets the roam as well. One of the biggest benefits of getting your turret down early, you can see the rotations from FlyQuest. They send Altok and Lemonation up onto the top side. They want to keep their advantages rolling through here. Keep that high tempo. Caitlyn perma pushing here. Lulu will be up there for the assistance as well, and even though Haunter had a decent amount of CS, 1v2 probably shouldn't be able to make much happen.
Yep. They say keep things rolling. We heard kind of an interview from Aframu yesterday saying there's only a few people that continue to boggle your mind. They'll come back to lane and they try to do something immediately. High was one of those people, and so was Mata.
Exactly. I mean, people talk about shot calling all the time in a kind of abstract way where it's hard to pin down, the actual strong qualities of, and there are big differences there. One of the biggest is the speed with which you can actually prep your next move or your next couple of moves so that you're already prepared. And the more prepared you are, the more work you do ahead of time, the less of the situations where we see teams end up in Baron and having to decide once they're already there whether they're pulling off or whether they're forcing it down or something. and Shock Callers like High and stuff. Those are the guys that always have the next step planned out. Whether for better or worse is not always the same.
It's a lot of thought process. It's not like you get to walk back to lane, check Skype, talk on Discord, and then talk to your friends again. It's always about the game. It's the
Let me go online. I'll Google it, look up what's the next best step.
What should I buy?
Honestly, though, TSM prepping a topside move. You can see waiting in the wings is Svenskeren. Biofrost is playing very aggressively, though, and that's causing FlyQuest. As they know this is their weak side up on the top side, they're just backing off, playing very cautiously, and they're able to get the objective cross-map.
Alltech, Moon, and Balls now all picking up 1 kill. Nice little buddy system they have going on as they sort these out. Bjergsen, his first back was that Negatron cloak, so he's actually been able to stand against these orbs of High and just farm back and forth. Looks like Gragas, Svenskeren, I should say, taking over the blue as Bjergsen won't need it, and it may speed up his jungle a bit so he can get back to lane. High's been quite pushed up, and they may be able to work that.
Yeah, High trying to make the most of his blue buff here, just dumping spells into Bjergsen. Bjergsen was able to get his Negatron recall off previously, though, trying to chug his potions to keep up, and the extra magic resist is helping, but slowly wearing away. High continues to push him under the turret. Meanwhile, the Caitlyn Lulu doing exactly the same here.
Just Turtle, too, so he can't really get up too close to clear these. That means quite a bit of damage on the turret. That means more acceleration in this game for FlyQuest if they can take down top as well without an answer.
Also, it gets to be a very scary situation for TSM, as FlyQuest have had a long time with control of this quadrant of the map, and you can see that's why TSM are being so careful. Biofrost in particular, they're bringing multiple people with control wards for this blue quadrant because they know that FlyQuest are trying to set up in the top triangle, this top lane, jungle, and mid portion of the map. And it's, despite all their best efforts, the turret's about to go down.
Forward. Alltech did get solo gold on the last turret, shares the gold this time with Lemon Nation and the rest of the team.
TSM
looks like they're good to go.
Pretty good planning of their own. As we said, they're prepping this control wards, and they were building their defense so they don't actually lose anyone. However, bottom side.
I think he wants to fight on that too much. Throws down the ultimatum.
Syndra's coming down the river as well. Balls just wants to survive at this point.
Up the E, throws it off. Answer! Not able to get the last few hits in as the scrap shields continue to come up and Balls just kites around.
And people continue to wonder what is up with the TSM first game of a series, win rate, because it's not very good, and there's a lot of ideas of where it comes from. They have just seemed like fairly slow starters this season, even though they rally very often to come back in a series. This is a giant lead for FlyQuest here in game number 1 of the series, and after taking the top outer as well, rotate on the duo right down there to mid, last outer turret standing, they can easily send Balls back up top lane. That teleport is ready, by the way. So even if there is action that does break out, a lot of wards here around the mid lane, prepped and ready for them to react.
So much protection here for Alltech. Having a very nice game, 115 to 88, as Turtle's lane was kind of chaos in the beginning with how much they pushed, forced to go to the top side, still not able to see us there. So waiting on a bit of power from while Turtle will have FlyQuest continue to pressure advantages here and probably grab this next Infernal Drake without too much trouble winning.
Yeah, they're grouping everybody up. They're actually not even going to wait for the teleport. Balls is just walking down on Rumble. Now, the decision here, you want to save your Rumble ultimate for the Dragon fight. It's actually a while off, so
right.
There's an option of using it to push them off this turret, but you would definitely want to at least get a decent amount of damage done with it if they do, because that would be a possible opening for TSM to try and go for a counter move. Currently, though, TSM just trying to play defense here.
Almost. Post, but no cigar as well. Various wards by TSM, 3 to guard a brush. Makes their FlyQuest don't have enough time to knock them out. Stun into a slight heal. Another ultimatum onto Balls, and Gragas. Svenskeren coming up this time.
Yeah, nobody's here to help Balls this time. It is actually Svenskeren coming for Hanser, but He backs out, able to ult the wave and clear out the majority of it.
Nicely played.
High's roaming up now too. I don't know about this dive.
I think they can turn this on Svenskeren.
Also has no flash though.
Minion being closer now. Nice wait by TSM there to make sure the minion wave was in range. A turret shot along with unleashed power. Another kill possibly coming in onto Hanser. Looking to drop one more orb. Hanser with the dodges, but he can't do enough to get out of the way. Double kill for High for a bit of a roam to the top side.
Yeah, High's control over mid here. You know, constant roams. These are the play style that we previously had associated with him so much. Makes play bottom, comes back up top side. Even though balls goes down this time, worthy sacrifice for them.
It's funny too, we just mentioned before it was 1 kill across those 3 members. Now 3 kills for High in just a few minutes. 6-1 here with a 5,000 gold lead.
And honestly, this is one of the things that, one of the reasons why FlyQuest, they were a bit sad with, you know, the losses that were piling through, to say the least. Nobody likes to lose. But
This is true.
they also talked about maybe it was a little early in the season for them to start reaching for those surprise picks and maybe going a bit too far with the theory crafting. This team comp here and this game opening up the series is a lot more of that return to normalcy and kind of more expected picks. Here we go though, is another look at it. High actually, FlyQuest, it looked like without that vision on Svenskeren, thought that TSM had given up on this dive, and that's why they actually had balls still there. High then cancels his recall, comes in. He does end up having to burn his flash to close that distance, but definitely worth it for them. Grabs another kill, and man, they are off to such a good lead. Infernal Drake is the perfect thing for snowballing ahead as well.
As we expected, uncontested. 15.5 in. FlyQuest gathering up everything on the map. And that outer turret is one of their pings here as they send 3 members mid. A little bit of love for the top lane, but I don't think Wild Turtle's gonna have too much fun here.
Honestly, even though that wasn't very flashy, I love when Rumbles will do that max range, use it to clear away when they know that's a dangerous situation. It doesn't go close to the area where they've lost vision. And Balls is not only able to clear the wave, survive, and get right back in there for wave number 2 as FlyQuest, all 3 outers have been destroyed here. And FlyQuest have all of their turrets remaining. Bioprost is just toast. The casual kill on the support here as he's walking very close to a fairly fed Syndra, as you were just mentioning, Friv.
Yeah, that's High knowing exactly what he can do, and knowing the team doesn't have to fight for a period of time as well. Being in the lead, you can kind of just throw that out all willy-nilly.
It's one of the things we haven't really mentioned in quite a long time is, oh yeah, it's so scary to be a support when you're going transitioning around mid lane, right? Because there's a 5-level difference between Biofrost and High. And High had a really good position up there in the Fog of War, but you just have to be so cautious. Talking about Fog of War and being cautious, it looks like it's gonna get close to the too close.
Oh, not gonna get out of the ultimatum. Wild Growth is on. Polymorph to the direct target that's gonna do the most damage. Here comes Balls, turns up the heat, and a kill for Altec and himself on the teleport in.
Oh my goodness, FlyQuest, instant reaction. Here we go, Moon on the offensive.
Oh, Moon's getting angry. Turtle's been having trouble just getting farm, and now he's having trouble finding a place in a lane. Heal and exhaust used on the side for the bot lane of TSM there as Moon goes aggressive. FlyQuest working off the ball. The aggression's in the top lane, and they're still getting stuff around the map.
So beautiful of an opening here for FlyQuest. They've only given up 1 kill, no turrets yet. Bjergsen is split pushing on the bottom side, but FlyQuest still have pressure. They can get another, tier 2 here. 5 members grouping up, yeah. Bjergsen's coming around back. Are TSM going to go for this 5-on-5 down this much gold?
It's going to be extended, and they'll have low health bars if they even try to contest this. They've only taken a few of the front-end damage bursts from FlyQuest. They choose to go out of this one. And kind of a breathing moment here. 9-1. We'll see this top replay once again.
Instant reactions here. Altec flashes over, able to get 2 Lemonation. At the same time, Balls immediately starts channeling his teleport, so he gets there in time to turn these 2 kills around. And that is a kick in the gut for TSM as the snowball is getting ridiculously big.
Yeah. Feels great. That replay for Alltech having the Hurricane is such a good feeling. You have two members standing close together, tearing away at shots with your support behind you. The buddy system of Alltech and Lemonation has been strong this season. Coming up only on 20 minutes. Alltech goes back to the bot lane just to farm up a bit because everything's pushed up too far. It almost gets too dangerous for them to do anything else here so early in the game.
And they've done such a good job of playing cautiously, you know, when needed thus far. Nobody from the bottom lane here from FlyQuest has a death to their name. Actually, yeah, they've only given up 1 kill as a team total, so that's not saying a whole lot. Here we go, though.
Wonder how many he can scatter. It's going to be Svenskaren's down. Bjergsen actually Frodo in. He does live. A quick shield coming out there, and it's going to be Svenskaren, the ultimatum onto high. A quick shot from Curtain Call takes him down. And actually 2 kills coming in here from TSM. Bjergsen tries to troll pool out. Doesn't get the kill back with the Bola coming out.
Ultimate.
Where will he lay it down? Actually backwards instead of the escape route for TSM. Might have been a mistake. Is going to get the kill onto Vladimir. Balls, however, becomes a shutdown that Hanser might pick up. Zanya's down by Balls. Moon comes in, saves him from the top lane. And these two get out as Bash Brothers.
Woo! A lot of gold exchanging hands there. And 3 kills go over one direction. I believe it was 3 as well for the TSM side. I mean, even trades as far as gold are decent for them, but let's take a look at how this all started out, because it was definitely a bit chaotic. And this was FlyQuest going for a play when they had teleport disadvantage. So that's why TSM are able to initially get a lot of momentum in this team fight. Hanser barely able to flash out here, but then they return to the fight. Not accounting for how long they've lost vision of the Rumble. And Balls eventually is able to get that blast cone over that wall, lays down his Rumble ultimate, flashes on over to continue this one fairly aggressively. Still very close margin. Turtle flashes forward to get that execute onto the Caitlyn. Whew, is right.
Who is right. A lot of quick calls there at the end to make sure it happens in their favor. 8,000 gold lead now. Looks like they aren't stopping either. Back to lane. As I said before, they're going to keep putting something on the platter. Basically, take it right off. TSM gets none.
Yeah, very good showing from FlyQuest. And even though it's so early in the game, 21 minutes, not surprised for them to go straight for the Baron. They have so much control. They're burning it down even this early, and
they've managed to make this a very scary situation before, though. This one, not so much.
Yeah, people kind of associate risky Baron calls with high, and they're like, oh, not again. Well, when you are, 9,000 gold ahead at 21 minutes, yeah, definitely more comfortable. And honestly, this is such a good, sort of redemption story here for FlyQuest. People are calling for their heads, basically, after the decline from their first part of the season with all of the quote-unquote flavor picks, and people were attributing it to, oh yeah, FlyQuest, they can only play these kind of
something
cheesy
gonna
picks,
flex
right?
The champions tonight.
But very clearly, and Lemonation has stated many times himself even, you have to be able to play, the meta as well.
Right.
And FlyQuest, they use the Caitlyn Lulu pushing.
Yeah.
They snowball that ahead. Plus, they were also handed a very nice, early jungle lead when the invade from Svenskaren went wrong.
I'd say this coming back as well.
Oh, TSM might be going for a flank though, Riv.
It's so close, Alltech. Yeah, is able to get out. A quick shield from Lemonation to deny any follow-up damage. Do they have something coming from the side? Balls actually has no ult that he can put behind them, but Flamespreader can still grab a few people. Looks like Bjergsen's going to be the first one. Gets a good heal off from the teammate himself. And now it looks like they are just forced back here. Brute force by FlyQuest, not even having to start a fight.
Yeah, they're able to kite back. Nobody really gets knocked in with that Gragas ultimate. Nobody gets snared up either, so FlyQuest disengaged long enough and usher up these minions with their Baron buff. Inhibitor down for them, 23 minutes into the game.
Keeping on pace with last game. We just saw Immortals Cloud9. Seems like everybody's got hot feet today. Moving in fast, playing aggressive, and pedal to the metal, as it's not even going to be a retreat here for FlyQuest. Right onto the middle inhibitor turret. Once they get the minions, still have to deal with quite a bit of wave clear, which is impressive that they were able to get the top turret down. Back out, Cloud Drake, and make sure for safety, actually. Smart play by FlyQuest.
Yeah, red buff, Cloud Drake. They get to take every resource off of the map. at their leisure at this point in the game. Monster's actually chasing them down. Gonna make them work for it, it looks like.
All right, Elimination Ultimatum. Wild Growth is still, baby. That's gonna be Moon picking up a kill for himself with the red buff. One auto was enough to file it through. Crimson Rush gives Bjergsen a good amount of HP. Could keep him alive for the time necessary. Pulls out, he's safe. Oh, the shot goes through! Eagle Eye ace in the hole from Alltech as he finds the mark. Moon continues to clean up as High also answers with one. Wild Turtle's left wondering, can I peek out of my shell yet?
Yeah, honestly, TSM decided to make them work for it. FlyQuest, all right, we're ready to work. And that actually might be the end of the game. Man, this is definitely one of the earliest games that we've seen this split as FlyQuest are moving towards Nexus turrets already.
It's a 17-4. A few kills in lane.
Oh!
Decimated the objectives. Moon's gonna go down here in the end. Almost another kill coming across. His high is very, very low. 7 seconds on Bjergsen. The rest of the team coming through. And FlyQuest continuing to put the finishing touches on here. But TSM do get another chance.
Yeah, that in the end it cost them a Nexus turret.
Yep.
Those don't afford you too much gold, but it always is a bit of a kicker. Let's see, he has red buff, so the red buff that's on Hunter from Moon's last auto there is going to be the thing that burns him down. And they're just like, you know what? Okay, plenty of the members are here. We see Turtle. Turtle was just clearing a wave in the top lane, so they know that there's only these 3 members they have in vision and fully commit to this chase. Whoop.
So much follow-up too, having that ace in the hole to come through, long-range stuns, the equalizer at length. Even if they do get away, TSM still dealing with quite a bit of damage on the retreat. Cloud Drake is picked up. Another Cloud Drake. Fancy. Could be going quite fast if they even make it to that point.
Cloud Drake, the fanciest of Drakes.
Fancy. Absolutely.
You can just glide across the ground. All right, well, let's see what TSM have in store because they don't have a lot of options. So at this point, you have to assume they're going for bush plays. FlyQuest do assume that, so they're moving up wards first. Rengar ultimate is on, and here they go!
Haunter TP comes through. He has Lemonation. Lemon staying near Alltech. Quick polymorph onto Haunter! Nothing happens to the back lines. Bjergsen and Svenskeren now on the bot side are quickly focused and taken out. Turtles left, Turtles down. That's an ace for FlyQuest.
Whew! And FlyQuest don't even have to go through bottom lane. High with a casual sip of the coffee there. Let's just go in, finish off this Nexus. And holy moly, FlyQuest start this one out with a banger. 26.5-minute victory for them.
Very nicely done. FlyQuest take game 1 of the series over TSM.
Whew. A little bit reminiscent of the kind of beatdown that Immortals laid on TSM in that single game. And TSM definitely needs to regroup after that. They've been in this situation before, but yeah, FlyQuest, all good things as far as the return to standard that I was talking about in conversation with those guys. Whew.